Imagine this. You wake up in the middle of the night and for a moment, everything seems normal. Your room looks the same. The faint glow of moonlight streams in through the window, but something feels off, terribly off. You try to move an arm, a leg, even just a finger, but nothing happens. Panic surges through your veins as you realize you're paralyzed, frozen in your own body. Then it gets worse, much worse. From the corner of your eye, you see a shadow. It's just a trick of the light, you tell yourself. But then it moves. You can hear its footsteps, slow and deliberate. It feels like someone, or something, is watching you. You want to scream, but your voice won't come out. Your mind races. Is this a nightmare? No, you're awake. This is real. This is what I just described as a typical experience of sleep paralysis. It's something that happens to millions of people worldwide. If you've never experienced it, consider yourself lucky. For those who have, it's like being trapped in a horror movie. But why does it happen? And why do so many people see the same kinds of things? Dark figures, strange creatures, and even glowing lights. Let's start with what we know. Sleep paralysis happens when your brain wakes up before your body. Normally, during a stage of sleep called REM, short for rapid eye movement, your body is paralyzed. This is a natural process that prevents you from acting out your dreams. Imagine thrashing around every time you dreamed of running or flying. Not exactly safe, but sometimes your mind wakes up while your body is still in this paralyzed state. You're fully conscious but completely immobile. Sounds simple, right? Well, here's where things get complicated and terrifying. According to a study published in the Journal of Sleep Research, more than 50% of people who experience sleep paralysis also report vivid hallucinations, and they're not pleasant. Many see dark figures, often described as shadowy beings or even demons. Others hear voices, whispers, or feel like something is pressing down on their chest. In some cultures, these experiences are blamed on evil spirits or supernatural forces. Take the story of Maria, a 25-year-old who's been dealing with sleep paralysis since she was a teenager. One night, she woke up to find a shadowy figure standing at the foot of her bed. It had glowing red eyes. She couldn't move. She couldn't scream. All she could do was watch as it slowly approached. When she finally snapped out of it, she was drenched in sweat and too terrified to go back to sleep. For Maria, and many others like her, these experiences feel very, very real. But why do we see these things? Scientists believe it has to do with how our brains process fear. When you wake up paralyzed, your brain goes into overdrive. It starts interpreting everything as a potential threat. Shadows in the room become monsters, sounds become whispers. This is called the hypervigilance response. Your brain is on high alert because it thinks you're in danger, and in a way, you are. At least it feels that way. What makes it even more fascinating and unsettling is that different cultures have different explanations for sleep paralysis. In Newfoundland, it's called the old hag. People believe a witch sits on their chest, suffocating them. In Japan, it's known as kanashibari, which literally means bound in metal. Ancient Persian folklore blames it on the jinn, supernatural beings that torment humans. The fact that people around the world describe similar experiences, but with their own cultural twist, raises an intriguing question. Is sleep paralysis just a quirk of the brain, or is there something deeper going on? And then, there's the connection to alien abduction stories. Yes, you heard that right. Many experts believe that some reports of alien abductions can be explained by sleep paralysis. Imagine waking up, unable to move, with bright lights shining in your face and strange beings surrounding you. It sounds exactly like what happens during sleep paralysis. To someone who believes in extraterrestrials, it might feel like an abduction. But here's the twist. What if it's not just in their minds? What if there's more to these experiences than we realize? Sleep paralysis doesn't just cause fear. It can have a lasting impact on people's lives. A study conducted by the Journal of Anxiety Disorders found that people who experience frequent episodes are more likely to suffer from anxiety and depression. For them, the fear of waking up trapped becomes a daily nightmare. They lie awake at night, afraid to fall asleep. Imagine going to bed every night, knowing you might wake up paralyzed and terrified. It's a cruel cycle, but there is a way out. Some people have learned to take control of their experiences. Lucid dreamers, people who are aware they're dreaming, sometimes use sleep paralysis as a doorway to enter lucid dreams. Instead of fighting the paralysis, they focus on staying calm and shifting their consciousness. It's risky and not for everyone, but it shows that even the scariest experiences can be turned into something powerful. I know what you're thinking. This all sounds terrifying, but there's more to the story. Let's talk about the crushing weight that many people feel during sleep paralysis. It's often described as a heavy pressure on the chest, making it hard to breathe. In ancient times, people believed this was caused by demons or witches sitting on their chests. Today, we know it's called the Incubus Phenomenon. Scientists believe it happens because your body's muscles are still paralyzed, including the ones that help you breathe deeply. But in the moment, it feels like you're being suffocated. Here's something even stranger. In 2011, researchers conducted a study with over 8,000 people from different backgrounds and found that beliefs play a huge role in how people experience sleep paralysis. Those who believed in supernatural explanations were more likely to have terrifying episodes. Meanwhile, people who understood it as a sleep phenomenon often reported less intense fear. It's as if our minds shape our experiences, even when we're paralyzed and vulnerable. So, what triggers sleep paralysis? Well, stress is a big one. Lack of sleep, irregular sleep schedules, and even sleeping on your back can increase the chances of an episode. One study published in Frontiers in Psychology found that people who slept on their backs were more likely to experience sleep paralysis. Why? Because lying flat makes it easier for the body to stay in a paralyzed state when transitioning between sleep and wakefulness. It's a simple thing, but it makes a big difference. Now let's bring it back to you. Have you ever felt completely helpless? Maybe it wasn't during sleep, but in another part of your life. That feeling of being trapped, unable to escape, is what makes sleep paralysis so terrifying. It's a reminder that, for all our strength and control, we are sometimes at the mercy of our own minds, and yet, people survive it. They face it night after night and still keep going. That's strength. Some people turn their fear into fascination. They explore the boundaries of consciousness, trying to understand what happens during these episodes. The International Journal of Dream Research documented cases of people who intentionally induce sleep paralysis to explore out-of-body experiences. They described floating above their own bodies, traveling to places they'd never seen. It's both fascinating and terrifying. What lies beyond the paralysis? Is it just another state of mind or something more? Sleep paralysis shows us how thin the line is between dreams and reality, between fear and understanding. If you've ever woken up paralyzed, you know how real it feels. You're not alone. Millions of people share your experiences, your fears, and your questions. What you saw, what you felt, it matters. And it's okay to be afraid, but remember, you're not powerless. With time, knowledge, and support, you can face the darkness and come out stronger. If you've ever experienced sleep paralysis, or if this is your first time hearing about it, tell us your thoughts. Have you seen the shadowy figures? Felt the weight pressing down on you? Share your story. We'd love to hear it. And if you want to explore more mysteries that shape our lives and challenge what we know, hit that subscribe button. This is Universal Insights. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the depths of the mind. Until next time, sleep well, and know that you are not alone.